Yeah. Yeah. Well.
How substantial a role do you think your ethnicity has played in this treatment you received at the hands of the government?
Well, I mentioned this post 9/11. It plays a major role because we know, like, people. You go to Guantanamo. Have they charged anyone? You have more than 100 people are set to be free, and they are still in jail. No, you don't have any court or anything there. Only because they look like, they are brown people, maybe. So there is perhaps, we don't know how much it explains. It has a role, I would say. Like most of the cases now, anti-terrorist cases, what do you think? They are people from only specific areas. Isn't it enough to draw the conclusion? That's what I would say. Yes, Joe?
Isn't it true? I think I remember from the trial that initially they were sure you were Palestinian.
Yeah.
In the original record of the case, well, they said, I was a Palestinian, the first copy of the record of the case. Then they changed it to Palestinian Lebanese. Then when they sent the French journalist, he asked me the question maybe 5 or 6 times. You're Palestinian, right? I said, no. He said, he must be Palestinian because he was involved in the case. It looks the French judge sent him to know more about me, to fish around. And as a result, we knew this only because he published a book right after this about this case in France. And in the book, he forgot to remove certain things that the French investigators told him. Because nobody knew these things except the record of the case, which came later on after he published in almost this one. So where did he get his information from? You can guess. So it looks like the French judge at the time sent the guy to fish around for information. And he asked me this question several times. And they forgot even to remove it from the last version of the record of the case. They put it like 5 Palestinians went there. One of them, the Lebanese, whose name is Hassan Diab. It's like 5 Palestinians and the Lebanese is like, there is contradiction, but it goes because it's the extradition law again.
So why don't they just send somebody to interview you here? If that's all they want to do is question you.
Well, this is exactly what I offered. And even I offered the lie detector at one point because the RCMP said, what about the lie detector? I said, I'm ready for this. And then they withdrew the offer. Nobody said anything about it. They said it twice. And Don Bain, my lawyer, said, okay, we'll do it. And they just disappeared.
You were mentioning...
Yeah, sorry.
I just wanted to check. You are a Canadian citizen, aren't you? And that's the major concern. That
extradition only happens to Canadians.
Yeah.
The other one is deportation for non-citizens.
So what I find very disconcerting is that this judge, that there seems to be no application of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in any way with extradition. It just seems to be out there on its own.
Yeah.
Like we don't have any rights.
Practically you have, I said, 0.5%. Well, this is officially, I'm talking statistics. 0.5%. And you cannot fight it. Whatever you do, you are losing. And then they tell you, oh, you can refute the allegations, but when you come to do it, and then you succeed, they said, well, but the law says everything the state's saying is reliable. Then you have to go. So it's like, the cat with its tail. You don't know who's...
In which your voice cannot be heard.
Oh, absolutely. Even if I had all these people here with me 30 years ago, I can't bring anyone in the extradition hearing to say we were together. I can't do this because you can do this only in the trial, not in the hearing. I cannot present anything to exonerate me. I can rely on what they have, what the other side is presenting, and I show them the contradictions. I can't present anything like from my own and say like, oh look, my parents were here, or I was here, or no, we don't care. Even if your fingerprints don't match with the suspect, they say, oh, we will not rely on the fingerprints. The palm print doesn't match, I will not rely on this. And all these things, they say, we will not rely on them. Here, they will not rely on them. But in France, you will not see them in the case.